Thank you for your patience, everyone. We're working out a little situation with the link, but Dr. James will join us very soon. Just relax.
I love my heart and soul. I love all humanity. Join hearts and souls together. Love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony.
Wonderful, you made it, Dr. James. Welcome.
Hello. How are you?
You made it. Good. Welcome.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Hi, everyone. Good
Hi.
afternoon, good evening. Nice to see everyone. So I'm appreciative for the opportunity to come to this class and share. Um, Sorry, there was a little bit of a hiccup um, with my ability to sign on to the right Zoom account, but I'm here now. And so I thought I could just briefly share a little bit about myself um, and how I've come to learn about and utilize these tools that I have learned from Master Shah. And so I'm Dr. Carter. I'm a board certified licensed doctor of acupuncture in Oregon, and I specialize in treating chronic recalcitrant conditions, chronic pain. And I serve many different types of clients from all walks of life. And I have been utilizing a lot of these mind body healing tools and the systems through which Master Shah has been teaching for the last 25 years in my practice for the last 10. And so it has immensely benefited my work and my practice and helped me to serve my clients in a unique way. And so I first met a Dr. Master Shah in 2015. I attended a workshop. It was just a healing workshop about how to heal yourself. And I thought, hey, this sounds very interesting to me. I had just graduated, so I decided to attend that. And um, I was a demo for a healing hands technique that was being offered. And I experienced a rather instantaneous alleviation of foot pain that I had experienced for over a year. And that was enough to really inspire, excite, and get me hooked because I was floored by that. I had been to many Qigong retreats and Tai Chi and been practicing and studying that for, oh, many years. I was in martial arts since I was 5, 6 years old. So I'd been exposed to a lot of kind of similar things, but never had I experienced distance healing with that degree of efficacy. So I was super excited to learn more about this and how I can use it to, benefit people who are suffering from conditions that um, some of which are difficult to affect meaningful change right away with either Western medicine or Chinese medicine or acupuncture. So I take a pretty practical and um, simple approach to the work in that um, I really love the medical application of a lot of the practices and the tools that we have. And so I thought it might be helpful or fun or useful to kind of go through some of the basics that generally I will share with my clients. And of course, I tend to customize things depending on the needs of the individual. But I thought today, because the topic I've been asked to cover is on health and wellness. And so, what better way than to talk about how I use it on a daily basis in my work? And so, I thought we could start with a little grounding practice, and then we'll go through a little sequence. And I want this to be useful to you, whether you've studied with Dr. Shah or been studying mind, body, spirit healing for many years, or whether you're brand new or you're just interested in becoming healthier. There should be something in today's talk for you. Okay, so let us start by just closing our eyes and taking a few slow, deep breaths and coming to our heart center. Taking a slow, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. letting both feet rest comfortably on the floor. Allow yourself to settle in to whatever position is most comfortable for you, whether you're sitting in a chair or if you need to lie down or whatever position. I don't recommend hanging upside down for this though. Just kidding. Um, and so one of the things I like to do is to kind of touch your heels together and have your feet sort of in a 90-degree angle. And you can imagine roots sprouting out from the bottoms of your feet, burrowing into the earth, grounding you, supporting you as you redirect your focus and attention back to your breathing. And let's set an intention for something that you would like to focus on as far as your health and well-being goes. And it could be something physical, like maybe there's a particular organ or system or part of the body that you want to bring more energy and light to, or more positive energy to, or a certain condition that you're trying to transform, or you want something to complement maybe the medical work that you're doing with some provider. Just set your intention for what is your goal? What would you like to focus in on? And take a few slow, deep breaths. And when you're ready, open your eyes. If you feel comfortable and you want to share what you would like to work on, so I get a sense of what kind of things we're dealing with or what we'd like to transform, feel free to. But of course, you're under no obligation to. You can also keep that private. So one of the things to start, one of the tools that I love to do is I love the practical application of this, like I mentioned, and the medical value of this work, which I think is immense. And one of the tools that I like to use is sound and tones. And in Master Sha's, one of his latest books, Tao Calligraphy Healing Field, which I'm sure they can share a link with interested folks later, is the understanding that each organ system has a sound or a tone that resonates with it. So in traditional Chinese medicine, it's over 5,000 years old, there's something called the five element theory, where systems are paired in specific categories. And the understanding of physiology and anatomy is substantially different in a lot of ways compared to Western medicine, whereas it's focusing on physiological function and the energy flow through the human system rather than just solely the physical or structural components. So there's five elements in Chinese medicine, and let's go through those, and then we'll talk about the tones, and then we'll do a practice, because this is one of, hands down, the simplest and I think most easy to apply and somewhat fun practice that a person can do. And so we have our five elements, which include the fire element. That includes the heart, the small intestine, but the heart is the lead organ. We have the earth element, which includes the spleen and the stomach, the spleen being the lead organ. We have the metal element, the lungs, and the large intestine. Lungs are the ruling element. Water element, which includes the kidneys and urinary bladder, kidneys being the ruling organ system. And we have the wood element, which includes the liver and gallbladder. And in Chinese medicine, there is some thought that the spleen, in the context of how it's described, also includes the pancreas as one unit. So if it's a condition such as diabetes or something that implicates the pancreas, then that would be also included within the earth element. And then there's corresponding emotions connecting to all the elements, as well as different functions and different sense organs and aspects of our emotions and personality that are within this. And then there's the different tones through the elements. So let's go through a cycle, or I'll show you one of the simple practices that I use regularly and that I share with clients that has been really effective for people trying to improve their health or to create healing. And that is the tones practice for the five major organ systems. And then we'll tie it together and we will do a Tai Chi practice. Okay. So I would like everyone to close your eyes and place one hand over your heart and one hand on your lower abdomen. And I want you to visualize a warm, flickering flame if you can. If visualizing images is a little bit difficult for you, then that's perfectly fine. Just put your awareness inside your body and focus on the sound. But if you can, focus on a flame. We're going to use the tone ah for our heart element to improve the health and well-being of our heart element. So we're going to take a slow, deep breath in to our lower abdomen, pause, exhale, and we're going to use the tone ah. So follow along with me. Deep breath into the lower abdomen. Pause, slow breath out. Ah. And as you're speaking the tone or that sound resonates. The frequency and vibration of the sound resonates with the heart and with the fire element. So if you're dealing with something related to the heart, whether physical or emotional, this could be something that you could do 5 minutes a day pretty easily and bring benefits to your heart. Take a big, slow, deep breath in. Feel the reverberation of the tone as you make the sound in your chest. Deep breath in. Ah. Slow, 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 deep breath in. Ah. Open your eyes. It really is that simple. So, what are the applications of this? Anxiety, stress, you're working on a heart issue, circulation in the whole body, um, emotional challenges. The tone ah is really helpful for the heart and the small intestine. Next, we're going to go through the whole 5 elements. And so next is the earth element. So the tone is hu, and the organ system is the spleen stomach. So you can put both hands on your left middle abdomen, and I want you to visualize fresh earth, like healthy, fresh dirt or soil, like you're gardening, focusing on the earth element. Okay, the tone is hu. And as we take a deep, slow breath in, we pause for a second, and then I want you to feel the reverberation of the tone in this region. Big, deep breath in, big smile into your pancreas, spleen, and stomach. Ooh. Deep, slow breath in. 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 Ooh. Last time, deep, slow breath in. Ooh. Great. Check in with yourself, close your eyes, interview your body space. See if you feel some warmth or tingling. You might not feel anything. All perfectly fine. Next, we'll move to the third element, the metal element. So it includes the lungs and the large intestine. And the tone we use to balance the metal element is S. And metal element also means glacier in the acupuncture 5-element system. It translates as metal or glacier. I want you is try to feel the reverberation of the sound in your upper chest. Take a big, slow, deep breath in. Big, slow, deep breath in. Big, slow, deep breath in. Deep, slow, big 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 breath in. Big breath in. Shrug your shoulders, relax. Next, we're going to move to the fourth element. The water element includes the kidneys and urinary bladder. Any kind of chronic condition involves the water element. So this practice is great for just boosting the strength of the body. Any chronic condition will benefit from this particular practice. The tone is Chui. And I want you can rest both hands on your lower back, or if that's not comfortable, you can put one hand on your lower back or both hands on your lower back or a lower abdomen and your lower back. Okay, whatever feels right. And you can visualize a beautiful blue ocean in your lower back. So we're going to take a big, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, feel the reverberation in your lower back, where the kidneys are. Chui. Deep breath in. Chui. Smile into your kidneys. Deep breath in. Chui. Deep breath in. Deep breath in. And if you have a difficult time with any of the tone practices, or it feels like you're sputtering or you can't really get a full breath out, that's definitely an area that you would benefit from doing a little bit of extra practice on, okay? And next we'll move to the final element, the wood element, which includes the liver and gallbladder. And you can place both hands on your right middle abdomen. I want you to visualize some beautiful trees sprouting and growing. Visualizing the wood element. The tone is shu. Deep breath in. Shu. Deep breath in. Shu. Deep breath in. Shu. Deep breath in. Shu. Take a deep breath in. Shu. Deep breath in. Shu. Okay. I just want you to close your eyes and feel inside your body. That process is sometimes called interviewing, but putting our awareness and our intention on the field of our inner body space and focusing on what's coming up, what's going on, what is here, and then being witness to that without trying to change it or judge it or anything like that, but just bringing the light of our awareness to that. And particularly after a practice like this, some of us, we won't feel anything. Some of us might feel hot, start sweating. Some of us might want to take a nap. Some of us might want to go run around outside. So all normal reactions, kind of depending on what the needs of your body are in that moment. So I'd like to open it up to any questions. If anyone has any questions about that first practice we did, and then I will take a look at the chat. Oh, hi, Jean. It's good to hear from you as well. Okay, so just to kind of share a few more things that I like to do, and if anyone has any questions or wants to learn about any condition or something specific, then I'm happy to share with you. If there's any particular conditions, I can give you some ideas about where I would start or what kind of practices might be most relevant. What I will say is that I'm an acupuncturist. That's my training, right? And then I also combine these tools to give people practical things that they can do. Even I have quite a few of my clients doing these tone practices in their car ride over to come see me, or I have them doing it silently while they're receiving acupuncture. Or I even have clients that, oh, they get anxious or stressed when they have to go to the doctor. And then I'll give them a grounding practice to do and have them kind of silently be doing the practice continuously when they're on their way to go see their Western medical doctor or whatnot. So there's a lot of applications and a lot of ways and conditions that we can use this for. It's not just for healing something, but also just for general wellness. So a 5-minute practice using these tones has a lot of different benefits. And then from there, you can decide to focus on one area specifically or a specific organ system or need that you have and kind of go deeper into one of those, or you can do all of them. Generally, what I like to do after we do a tones practice and the way I teach some of my clients is I'll have them combine it with an acupressure protocol, or I'll have them combine it with a tracing practice. So I'm not sure who here knows about Tao calligraphy or Tao calligraphy Tai Chi. Please raise your hand if you do. Perfect. Okay. Is there anyone here who doesn't know about Tao calligraphy Tai Chi? In the sequence, starting with the heart, or could we start with the liver as well? Yeah, absolutely. You could. It's very flexible. You can do whatever feels right. So in the 5 element cycle, I did the generating cycle. So just to kind of go a little bit deeper in that, the generating cycle I'm starting with the fire element and then we're going around the circle, but you could certainly start from the wood element and go around. There's also the controlling cycle of the elements, which I don't tend to use that one. And then, yeah, there's other ways you can do it too, but in general, I would recommend going clockwise for the most part. It seems to be a little bit more balancing for people, and I've done both. So Anita says, I feel deeply, deeply relaxed. I did not want it to end. Oh, great. Good. Well, it's a good thing I like to yap because sometimes it never ends when I'm talking, frankly. I'm just kidding. And then Jean says, I love the 5 elements practice and especially the way you led this practice today. Great. Thank you, Terry. Glad you are sharing this knowledge and wisdom methods with us. Yeah, it's my pleasure. I hope that it's useful. And most of all, applicable in a way that you can incorporate it into your life or fill the spaces or gaps that you have within your life with this. So waiting in line at the DMV, great time to do a silent practice. Driving, great time to do a practice, as long as you're not getting sleepy, right? Only do the ones that energize you. You know, um, listening to something you don't want to listen to, right? Silent practice time. Just kidding. So the next way that we can, another direction we can go with this too is I wanted to teach everybody acupressure, but another way you could do before, after you do the tones practice is you can put all 5 fingers together. Each one of the fingers represents one of the 5 elements and one of the channels. And then you can put your 5 fingers together and do a Tao calligraphy Tai Chi practice. So I have some Tao calligraphy cards, really simple. Humility, and Da Guang Ming, greatest light. So Da Qian Bei, Da Guang Ming. So for example, if we're doing the greatest humility card and we want to do a mind, body, spirit focused practice, we all want humility and light in our lives, don't we? We all need this. No one is exempt from that. And so we put our 5 fingers together, each one representing the element after we've gone through the 5 major organ systems tones practice, and we trace the Tao calligraphy card. Well, I should probably have a pen here. I don't. The closest I have is a king size Sharpie. So we're going to have to just make that work, guys. Okay. And then we trace that out calligraphy card. And it may seem really simple, like, why am I doing this? But actually, the pathway contains energy and information,
Can it come a little
messages.
closer to the camera? Can it get
Hello.
can it get a little bit bigger, closer
Sure.
to the
On my
camera? So,
screen, I look enormous because I'm pinned. So I don't know
uh,
if you might want to pin me. So I don't know. But
we don't
yeah,
that
like this.
that works.
Yeah. Yes, I just wanted to give you guys an example. So this is one way that you could combine the tone practices with your tracing for healing, is that you do the tones practice with through each of those 5 organ systems with the sounds. And then you follow it up with 10 to 15 minutes of Tao calligraphy tracing. And if you're feeling stressed, anxious, worried, anything's coming up for you, and you do this, I guarantee you, you will feel more settled. You'll feel more grounded. You'll feel more clear-minded. My clients swear by it, but it's really important to have a kind of consistent practice too. Um, so great. And so that's how I would recommend doing it. And you can use any of the Tao calligraphies for this. So there you have it. And so next, I want everyone to enter into the chat a request for something that you would like to work on, or something that maybe it's not for you. Maybe you want to learn some sort of acupressure that you could incorporate into your practice protocol so that you can combine these wonderful tones practices and sound practices and get the results from that along with a simple acupressure protocol. Okay, so Mary Flores says, very helpful, thank you. I have autoimmune illness. I find having no energy a lot of the time. What can I do? Okay, so there's definitely a lot of things you can do. Of course, what we do is not a substitute or replacement for your Western medicine care or anything like that. But it's meant to be a nice complement. And so I always recommend a great starting point is to do lower Dantian building practice. Mary, have you ever heard about lower Dantian building practice before? Let me know. And so we have Terry McGill says back pain, Sandy Pagano says depression, Roddy for self-love and compassion, neck pain. Okay, great. Are there any other requests? Mental fog. I don't remember that practice. Okay, perfect. So actually, the lower dantian practice is great for all of these things. This is really like one of the root practices that's really fantastic for building up the energy and strength and vitality of the human system. So how one does that is putting both hands on your lower abdomen. Rest both hands on your lower abdomen. Take a few slow, deep breaths. All practices, the way I share them with others, starts with focusing on your breathing. Okay, Ayala says weight loss. Yeah, the Dantian will give you more energy and hopefully you can move around easier and, all of that. Wonderful. Help with healing from my recent emergency surgery, which has left me with bladder weakness. Yeah. So the lower dantian is a fist-sized energy center, and it sits about 2 of your thumb widths below your navel and 2 of your thumb widths inwards. And it's used in martial arts and a bunch of different kind of ancient disciplines. If you've ever seen like in those martial arts movies or something where someone can just push back a line of people, there's a lot of fake things like that, but there are some real ones, and there's people that have developed their energy centers so well that they have immense strength that you might not expect from them. Even people, seniors or people that, maybe on the surface, they don't look like they're carrying a lot of power, but their dantian's well developed. They're very strong. And so the tones practice for the dantian is very simple. At the most basic level, if we just take the components that are easy for everyone to implement, you can take it down the rabbit hole, but visualizing a ball of golden light in your lower abdomen, and then the tone is Zhou, or the number 9 in Chinese. And so the tone Zhou, like I have a brother, for example, named Joey. It's not Joey or Joseph, it's Zhou. Yeah, so you hear the difference? So what you want to do is gently tap your lower abdomen, visualizing golden light. And if you can, keep your eyes closed and visualize, the sun I remember the sun at sunset in Honolulu, a beautiful golden ball in the sky, a warm orb. You really want to try to keep that visualization or capture that into your lower abdomen. We're going to gently tap, and I want you to follow along with me. Joe, 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 Joe. You can take it even a step farther. Connect with the consciousness and awareness of that energy center. Dear my lower dantian, you have the power to heal and rejuvenate, to boost yourself. Please do a great job. And then you offer it gratitude. Thank you from my heart. Visualize the golden light. Breathe in calmly. Joe, gently tapping the lower abdomen. Joe, 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 Joe. And if your mind starts to wander, and it will, because sometimes it's very difficult to stay focused and grounded in a practice like this for an extended period of time if your mind's not trained that way, just be aware of those resistances, be aware of those thought streams, and redirect the focus back to the sound and to the practice. And eventually you will feel benefits from it, especially if you're new. It's like, what am I doing? But it does work. Yeah, you just be consistent. Again, Joe, 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 Joe. Pause. We're just going to pause our practice for a moment, and we're going to add in some acupressure to this. So finding some common roots between all of these conditions. Of course, everything is customized, but there's two practices that could actually help with all of these issues. One is the lower dantian practice. The second is two acupuncture points that are located on the hand here. There's a commonly known acupuncture for frontal headaches, but if you come up right at the V, there's a V of this bone with this bone, yeah? And you press into this hollow space, you'll find it's right by the connection of the thumb. It's called the great bone or linku. So you want to let your finger fall all the way into this depression. There'll be a little hollow here. And then gently find it, press from underneath, press from the top. This is one of the #1 points in the body for building up, strengthening your kidneys. For back pain, can address some aspects of depression, neck pain, the brain, all of those things. You feel a little achy or soreness. Once you feel that achiness or soreness, you can come up. You don't have to keep pressing there. You found it. And now just come up and gently massage in circular rotations for 1 to 2 minutes clockwise, 1 to 2 minutes counterclockwise, several times daily.
Do we do
Here's
that on both hands? Both hands?
Yes. Who is this?
It's Mary.
Hi, Mary. Yeah,
Hi.
of course. I recommend anything to you do bilaterally. So hands is fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The other point that is paired with this is called dabai. It's called the Great White. And it's up here. It's a little bit smaller, but there's a muscle here and a bone here. It's right in this little hollow. So once you find that little soreness, okay, come up and gently massage. Both sides. Linku, dabai, both sides. And then for mental and emotional, for the brain or for our mood and emotions, one of my favorite points, there's two actually. One is called neguan, neguan. So between these two tendons, if you come down roughly 2 thumb widths, between these two tendons, you'll find this little hollow here. That's called neguan. And this is one of the master points for the chest. It's also known to alleviate stress, anxiety, nausea. has a lot of benefits. That's another point. So for Carolyn, I would recommend the Linku Dabai that I just shared. Just to recap, right here and right here. Those points are really helpful for conditions of the lower jiao, so from the navel downwards. And then to add in the Dantian practice to whatever other medical care that you're undergoing, that can sometimes be some nice complementary things you can include. And Anita says, I feel it. Mine is really painful. Yeah, so if it's painful, then you don't want to be pressing that hard. You might need to just do very gentle massage there for a few minutes, and then over a few days, you not doing it for a full day, obviously. After doing it a few minutes, a couple times a day, then after a few days, that soreness, that pain might alleviate. I used to teach that back in the day. I used to volunteer at the senior center, and I would have a class sometimes of 80 people I would be teaching acupressure to. And in that class, how it was structured was I would teach some practices to folks, either the sounds practice or the tones practice, or we do a Tai Chi practice. And then I would ask everyone, we go down the line and let everyone pick one condition they want to learn acupressure for. And one of the most common ones was lower back pain. Lower back pain, neck pain, the pains, And I would teach the acupressure here, and then I'd come back in 2 weeks and we'd do a check-in. And there were quite a few people who had dramatic releases of their discomfort. I'll never forget there was this one gentleman sitting in a wheelchair, and he was just doing like this when I came in the room. And then when we went back around, he was like, yeah, it worked. My pain's gone. And I was like, how much acupressure were you doing? Because I said, told people to do it like 5 minutes twice a day, very gently. It's like, I've just been doing it all day long. I was like, okay, well, that's a little much. But yeah, not everybody, of course, got that dramatic of an effect. But, most people did feel shifts, which was really wonderful. So, okay. Great. So I want to take any questions. If there's anything I can share with you guys, I wanted this a topic that I did to be uh, have a lot of practical value for you to incorporate and just learn a little bit more about how to use these things for healing, because the system of tools that Master Sha has kind of brought back to share with everyone are really incredible. And I've seen some phenomenal results, not just in my practice, but personally too. So it's been quite amazing. And I continue to teach it. And I even find that my clients share with their loved ones. And yeah, this leads to a healthier world in the long run, right? Awesome. So Carolyn shares stops sore on both hands. Refresh my memory, please. What can I rub on the point that will also stimulate? Maybe just a drop of olive oil or coconut oil to prevent skin friction. And don't press too hard. You want to find the sore area here and then just gently massage. Yeah. Again, not a replacement for any medical care. This is just something to support you with your practice. For self-love and self-compassion. So the best practice that I can recommend for that is not necessarily acupressure, but is the tone practice for the heart and tracing, doing Dao calligraphy Tai Chi, which they're going to be teaching in this class if they haven't already in the coming weeks. But doing the tones practice for the heart. So the sound ah, that sound, that tone reverberates in the heart. And the heart, our physical heart and our emotional heart, is related to our self-love and our compassion for ourselves. So that's a really great question. But that's where I would start, to be specific, is with the tone ah, and then to do practices with the Tai Chi, with the calligraphy. There's practices with the greatest love or the Da calligraphy. So I think I would recommend connecting with Anita, and she'll be able to share that more specific things about that with you. Oh, and it looks like we have a visitor. We have a wonderful orange cat. How cute. I love cats, so Well, wonderful. So that was all I had planned for this hour. It was my absolute pleasure to have the opportunity to share with you guys. Of course, there's a lot more to these practices, but this is a nice, simple introduction. And of course, if there's anything I can assist with, I'm happy to send some outlines about that acupressure with you guys. If you send a message to Anita, or if you want to follow up with me, I'm happy to send out links as well to those practices. But within the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field book, there's actually a QR code that will take you to a virtual, like a website that has all of these practices and animations for these organ system practices that you can follow along with, as well as the Tao Calligraphy Tao Song Touch the Button, where that's the most powerful one, where you register for like a month and then you have access to this really incredible video. That one's much more advanced. So if you are interested in that, that's a pretty awesome Tao technology you can utilize. Okay, great. I'd like to get the information to remember the points and purpose of each. Okay, I will put something together and then send it over shortly. Thank you, James. I register every month for the videos. I know, they're so amazing. I just absolutely love those videos. And what we're talking about, Terry and I, is the Tao Calligraphy, Tao Song, Touch the Button videos. It's really like a the way I think of it, and this is off the record, but I think it's like a virtual healing cabinet where you can go in and select, what kind of system you want to work on. And then it has a whole practice and sequence that you can do. And it works really well. Like the practices are very effective, especially when you're really focused and, you have that intention you're setting forth and you are really consistent with it. It's really amazing what you can accomplish. And then I feel warm from the points and circulation along my arms and warmth. Very grateful. Thank you. Thank you, James. I've registered a smorgasbord of practices. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Dr. Carter, for the presentation. Very informative. Well, yes, it was my absolute pleasure to be here with all of you. And thank you so much for having me. And I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your morning, day, evening, or wherever you are. Mostly Oregonians, though, right? Okay. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you
Much
so
love to
much, Dr.
everybody.
James.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
James.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you, everyone. Come back
Thank-
next Wednesday.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
James.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Love you.
Care.
Love
Bye.
you. Yes, okay.
Love you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah, but Anita.
What was that?
Adios. Ciao.
Love you, Anita.
Sayonara.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Love you,
Love you,
everybody.
Terry.
Adios.
I love
Love
you,
you,
Terry.
Love you,
Love
Terry.
you. Look at
Love
you
you,
guys.
Holly, Carolyn, everyone.
Sandy.
Sandy.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye, Anita. Love you all.
Love you.
Adios.
¿A dónde estamos?